Happy Friday the 13th. Don't be scared because we're here to bring you all of the biggest in MSU Denver and beyond. Welcome back to the Met Report. I'm Liz Isaac.
And I'm Fabrizio Escalona. Let's get started.
This month is Relationship Violence Awareness Month. To help educate about this, a few students and staff members wrote down empowering messages for survivors in chalk.
That's why riding in and all around the Auraria campus, our reporter Tyson Sintas spoke with a few of these people to learn more about their messages.
You might have noticed there's been a lot of chalk outside of Auraria campus. I'm out here to learn all about why they're there and to learn about Relationship Violence Awareness Month. The Phoenix Center at Auraria hosted a gathering Monday with a few students and staff members to write encouraging messages around the Auraria campus. Split up into different groups, gatherers wrote empowering messages for survivors of relationship violence. I spoke with Rachel Reed Maloney, who organized the event, to learn more about these messages.
This Monday, we did an event for the first time in our office's history called Chalking for Survivors. And we did this event because October is Relationship Violence Awareness Month, and we wanted to find another way to spread that on campus and let folks know who are survivors on campus, that they're supported, that they're loved, and just share some statistics about relationship violence and share our resource at the Phoenix Center with folks who might need it.
One of Auraria students, Lestine, who did not want to provide her full name, was one of the students who wrote some of the messages.
So I have the relationship of Bill of Rights here, and it's like a hopscotch type of thing where you can jump on it, but yeah, it's the Bill of Rights.
Other examples of these messages was a phone number provided for survivors to get into contact with the Phoenix Center, or other messages stating certain statistics that was found of how many were affected.
And the purpose of Relationship Violence Awareness Month is to spread awareness about what does relationship violence look like, who experiences relationship violence, and how do we do better as a community to support folks who are survivors or who are looking to leave an abusive relationship.
Another message written down on the sidewalk was a list of rights people have. One of the students who wrote down this list was Andrea Garcia.
So I wrote down all of the rights that you have in a relationship, which is to have your boundaries respected, make mistakes, learn and grow, and have opinions of your own, and also to be free from violence and intimidation.
If you missed this event, don't worry, there will be more in the future.
So we actually plan on doing this event again for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so that's going to be in April. So if you missed your chance to join us, don't fret, don't worry. We'll be back with this next semester in April for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But also, if you are someone who is a survivor, or maybe you're trying to support someone who is a survivor of relationship violence, we are a resource for you. We are confidential, we are free. So unless something you tell us requires us to do a mandated report, we will not share anything with anyone. We support folks, again, with safety planning. How do I actively leave something that is violent that I'm not feeling safe in? But just again, we're free, we're confidential, so please use us if you need us.
The Immigrant Services Program is a social support group that aims to increase enrollment, retention, and graduation of undocumented, immigrant, and refugee students. Last Tuesday, through the Undocumented Workshop event, they advised students who needed job opportunities to find out their professions. The workshop takes place so that students can learn that they have the opportunity to earn income to be professionals, even without working in the United States. They taught that the information that they shared about the opportunities to get contract work is relevant and essential, whether one is a student or not, since to be successful does not always require a university degree. The ISP was quoted as saying, "We hope to reach people who are not just students to help them grow in their professions, as well as help students learn more."
Everyone needs to know the basics of cooking. And luckily for MSU Denver students, there is now a cooking class available to join. Our reporter Laryss Rodriguez has the recipe for your success.
Rowdy's Corner is partnering with chef and dietitian Natalie, who helps students expand their horizons with cooking nourishing and yummy foods. This workshop is to help students put together affordable meals, which are also very healthy meals. I was able to get a word with the coordinator of this event.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I work for the Health Center at Auraria. I'm the Marketing and Educational Services Program Administrator. So we're here partnering with Rowdy's Corner. We have our registered dietitian, Natalie, so she'll be teaching our classes. And this happens once a month, every second Wednesday of each month. Next month, we'll have it on November 8th, so check out that. And then today we'll be cooking kind of like a Southwestern bowl where we'll have like a nice rice base along with some peppers, queso fresco, guacamole. We're gonna have everything. Vamos a tener todo. So come join us next time. Look out for next semester. We're so excited to see you all, and let's get cooking.
The next cooking class will take place on November 8th at 5:30, located at 1190 Auraria Parkway in the Hospitality Building in room 106. For more information on this event, feel free to email Maggie at maratliff@msudenver.edu.
On Tuesday morning, the Auraria campus formally unveiled a mural on the side of the athletic building. Here's Alex Petrich with the story.
200 years of diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Mexico. Such was the occasion for the unveiling of Mexican artist Spike's mural, Unidos, a sprawling, vibrant testament to the relationship between our nations. Among the attendees of the unveiling were Mayor Mike Johnston, CEO of the Auraria Higher Education Center Colleen Walker, and the Consulate General of Mexico, Pavel Melendez. Each offered brief words of recognition and congratulations, citing the mural as an important step in the celebration of Mexican-American heritage. But the symbolism of Unidos is multifaceted. As a press release from AHEC stated, this project serves as an additional reminder of the rich history of the Mexican-American families that lived, worked, operated businesses, and worshipped on this land before displacement. And it's not the only commemorative artwork being put up. Right across the street on the wall of the North Classroom building, Korean-American artist Corey Fetter's mural was unveiled on October 1st, capturing the history of Asian Americans in Denver. And as music played in the noonday sun, the ribbon was cut, food was served, and Spike was showered with praise. I caught up with him to discuss the significance of Unidos on the Auraria campus and what lasting impact he hopes it will give.
This campus is very, very big with a lot of opportunities for the students, for the new generations, with amazing different cultures, which is very, very important in education with people from different countries. This wall have a lot of history because this area was made for Mexicans in the last years. So in the same time, it's like heritage for the new generation, Chicano generations, discover where they come from and also feel the spirit, wake up the imagination to don't forget about who you are. And also for another students to discover another culture.
For the Met Report, I'm Alex Petrich.
Rigel is a urban mayor initiative with a mission to empower and identify students of color. This Wednesday, newly appointed Colorado State Representative Hernandez attended the critical discussion of race and culture. In opportunity unleashed enriching Black and Brown future hosted in Jordan Student Success Building, talking about the significance of promoting equity, addressing system inequalities, and furthering positive social change. As both community organized and Chicano studies teacher, Hernandez has always advocated for the North Denver neighborhoods where he grew up. That passion was evident in his presentation. Hernandez held an order to discussion, leaving plenty of room for students to ask and share their experience, while offering his insight and sharing his background as a person of color, activist, and abolitionist. The long-term outcome of this critical discussion of race is for MSU Denver students, staff, and faculty to take steps to fight for equality policies on campus and promote more inclusive environment.
And I'll be honest with you and vulnerable to tell you that it was not always, my racial and ethnic identity was not something I always celebrated within myself, because I believed and internalized this idea when I got to a predominantly white institution that I had to be white, that I had to talk white, that I had to dress white, that I had to act white in order to get to a place where people would offer me scholarships, that I would do better in classes, that, yeah, right? Like I played into a respectability politics.
Our very own health center held a workshop on Tuesday to train students in response to opioid overdoses. Our reporter Miah and Ntepp dropped by to cover the event.
I'm on campus outside the health center where there's an opioid response training. I was able to sit in on the action. Let's see what's going on.
This week, the health center on campus partnered with SAFE Project
to offer students a training opportunity on opioid response. Students were able to participate and gain invaluable information on the opioid epidemic and its impact on our communities.
Administer the Narcan the first time, so this, if they are in an opioid overdose, they will respond to it. So that's how you know. And it reverses the effects of an opioid overdose for, I think it's like 30 to 90 minutes. So that's how long that you have to be with them for a first responder to come to the scene to get them the medical attention that they need. Sometimes when you administer one, it doesn't quite work all the way. So it's like 2 to 3 minutes. You want to see how they respond. If they fall back into an overdose, you want to administer the second Narcan, which again gives them 30 to 90 minute window. So yeah, that's important to know because then you kind of really know what you're dealing with.
Students who attended also learned how to recognize the signs of an opioid overdose and administer the opioid overdose reversal drug naloxone. Students also left with resources on how to access free harm reduction tools like naloxone and fentanyl testing strips, both on campus and in the community. I was able to talk to Lauren Anderson, the director of the opioid training.
For those who are in recovery. So this, meeting is really just to destigmatize overdose, talk about opioids. Some of the different topics we talk about are like, what is harm reduction? So what does it mean? How is it implemented? What are opioids? How do they work with the brain and the body? What is an overdose and how do we recognize one? What is naloxone and what makes it effective? So how does it reverse the effects of overdose? And then how can we save a life with Narcan? So I recommend if this is something you are interested in, it's a free training that you can sign up for. Actually, at healthcenter1.com, we have opioid trainings once a month. You do get Narcan with the training as well. We do have it available at the health center. It is free at all times, but we do have it available at the training. We would love to see you.
For more resources and information on SAFE projects or recovery resources, visit the Auraria Health Center on campus.
Coming on next,
An assault at a bus stop on campus.
a protest in support of Palestine on campus.
And MSU Club Baseball continues their undefeated streak.
All this and more after the break.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
If you need something spooky to do this holiday season, Magic of the Jack or Lanterns is holding a pop-up event all through October until the Halloween day. At the House of Gardens event in Littleton, anyone can enjoy a glowing tour of over 7,000 hand-scarred pumpkins. One can to find magic around every corner as there are Edward Scissorhands, Denver Broncos, Beetlejuice, and even dinosaur-themed pumpkins. There is also a variety of food trucks and cultural stands. This event is open from Thursday to Sunday with tickets starting at $14.99. All less are welcome. For more information, just visit magicoftheyardorlanterns.com.
Earlier this month, the Auraria Higher Education Center issued a timely warning to all students, disclosing an attempt aggravated assault at the RTD bus station at Auraria Parkway and 11th Street. The suspect reportedly tried to use pepper spray on a victim waiting at the bus stop, but the victim managed to escape unharmed. The suspect, described as a black male with unknown age, fled the scene on a black road bike. As students resumed their studies on the Auraria campus, concerns about their overall safety riding public transportation are on their mind.
It was unfortunate to hear that the student got assaulted at the RTD bus. I myself ride the RTD, and now I feel like I have to be more aware of my surroundings. I used to ride it and just like fall asleep, but now I don't think that's gonna be the case no more.
Well, that's actually kind of scary because, yeah, we don't know like how aggressive people can be nowadays, especially like in an area like downtown where there's like all sorts of different types of people. Like you got some like normal people, sometimes you got some very you got some crackheads right here that can do some very unthinkable stuff right here.
Hopefully the university can get involved and help out in making us feel safe, collaborating with the RTD and in forms of like setting up these telephone emergency lines and fixing the ones that are already there. And hopefully that way, in form and another, we can reach out and feeling safe for all of us.
Now for a developing story that has sparked an FBI investigation into a southern Colorado funeral home, where at least 115 improperly stored bodies were discovered at the Return to Nature funeral home.
A truly disturbing discovery, our very own Cecilia Perez-Najera went down to Ponce Rose, Colorado, where the bodies were discovered.
Last week, on October 3rd, investigators with the Fremont County Sheriff's Office received various complaints from residents in the area of an abhorrent smell. This prompted officers to the Return to Nature funeral home, where 115 decomposing bodies were found. In Colorado, the green burial services that the funeral home offered are legal. Colorado law only states that remains not buried within 24 hours must be refrigerated. Through state records, we found out that on October 4th, the owner of the funeral home, John Halford, told the program director of the funeral home and crematory registration, Zen Mayhew, that he practiced taxidermy on the property. Halford also admitted to having a problem at the Penrose location and was amenable to meeting to facilitate an inspection of the property. On the same day, law enforcement executed a search warrant where they discovered the improperly stored bodies. Halford then attempted to conceal the improper storage of remains, and on October 5th, Halford did not permit access to investigators for an inspection. On Friday, Colorado Governor Jared Polis declared a disaster declaration, and via a statement during a press conference on Friday, Fremont County Sheriff's Office stated that as of that moment, no charges would be filed, and multiple Colorado agencies, as well as the FBI, have been brought on to the case and will be actively working to identify the deceased.
With regard to the investigation, there have been no arrests to date, and we don't want to speculate about arrests or possible charges at this time. We're focusing on our investigation and our victims. We're working closely with the 11th Judicial District Attorney's Office and the U.S. Attorney's Office on all aspects of this investigation, along with our state and federal partners.
That was more than a week ago now, and the investigation is still ongoing. Privacy tents are now up as law enforcement is working to remove those bodies and transfer them over to the El Paso County Coroner's Office in Colorado Springs. As they begin to identify those bodies, a process that could take upwards of months at this point. The Fremont Sheriff's Office are asking family members of descendants who use the Return to Nature funeral home to contact them via the email or phone we have up on the screen. The community of Penrose has also scheduled a vigil for 6 p.m. this Saturday, October 14th at Penrose Park to come together in support of the families affected by the funeral home tragedy. For the Met Report, I'm Cecilia Perez-Najera.
Last Tuesday, one of the most popular LGBT bars in Denver closed its doors as the result of what management has labeled a homeless problem. The Triangular Bar has been open for 15 years when the owner's escort course made the announcement that they would shut down effectively immediately. It had been a prominent feature in the gay community during that time and was one of the first Escalona in the city. However, the neighborhood surrounding the Triangle of the North Broadway has its uses in what the owners escort course called even expanding encampment, and this discomfort of customers with the safety area has brought down traffic to the bars significantly. While the new mayor, Mike Johnson, has committed to clearing such scams, the initiative seems to be too late for some businesses downtown. The club held a goodbye party this past Sunday for its customers and crew. Fall is on this way, and it's finally starting with the Get Chilly Out There.
That's right, and it's time to start bringing a coat. To get a more detailed breakdown, let's go to our reporter, Brandi Rose, with the weather.
Good morning, guys. Sweater weather is officially here with a freeze warning washing over the Mile High City early this morning. But if you're not particularly a fan of pumpkin spice lattes and oversized sweatshirts like me, worry not, because this cold weather is not going to stick around. As we ease into early next week, we're going to see highs in the 70s and even 80s until it mellows out and averages highs in the low to mid 60s as we close out the week. But it's that time of year where you wear a hoodie in the morning, then regret it by the afternoon. And as we all know, Colorado loves to keep us on our toes. That's all I got for you guys, and I'll see you next time. Back to you, Liz and Fabrizio.
Thank you, Brandi, for that weather report.
Yep, but don't go away. We'll be back with politics with Anissa.
Why are you reading that trash? Read the Metrosphere. Metrosphere is a magazine that highlights art, literature, and culture on the Auraria campus and the surrounding Denver area, created by journalism students while featuring work from English, art, journalism, and design students.
Who are you talking to?
At Metropolitan State University at Denver, our mission is to provide high-quality, accessible education that prepares our students for successful careers, postgraduate education, and lifelong learning in a global and technological society. Our values of diversity, access, and community help us provide opportunities for our students from all over the globe. In fact, we've just been named a diversity champion by Insight into Diversity magazine for 2016. Because at MSU Denver, we believe in transforming lives.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. I'm Anissa Mohdreza, and welcome to Politics. Let's get started. Reactions to the war in Israel continue to spark debate and demonstration worldwide. On Wednesday of this week, the students of a democratic society organized a protest in solidarity for Palestine on the Auraria campus. Several dozen people gathered to hear speeches, chant, and show support for the Palestinian cause. The demonstration took place in front of the Golda Meir house just south of St. Kazan's Church. Golda Meir served as Prime Minister of Israel from 1969 to 1974. In her youth, she lived in the Auraria neighborhood, and her former residence has been transformed into a museum, as well as a center for Jewish students. A group of Jewish students on the steps of the house displayed pictures of Israel casualties from the ongoing conflict, citing reports that Hamas killed 40 babies in an Israeli town. The protesters then marched around campus chanting "Free Palestine," displaying flags and posters as they went. A larger demonstration is being planned tomorrow at the Colorado Capitol at 4 p.m. Denver cardiologist Stephen Matthews was arrested over allegations of rape, sexual assault, and drugging through the use of popular dating apps. Stephen Berg of Berg Simpson Law Firm is approaching Colorado lawmakers to urge them to change laws surrounding dating apps. Quote, "I am hopeful for this next session that everyone will take a strong look into dating apps regulation and include safety in there," end quote. Tinder and Hinge refused to take down Matthews' account after multiple reports, and as a result of that, Berg is possibly suing the apps. Funding for Rowdy's Corner was a topic brought up in the Student Advocacy Council, commonly known as TSAC's meeting, last week. A series of events led to a petition in Rowdy's Corner to recall the two student government officials. In the petition, counselors Michael Warner and William Coates allegedly stopped the movement to provide additional funding for Rowdy's Corner, even though a resolution was passed in favor. According to Warner in last week's meeting, he argued that a 2/3 vote was needed for a resolution to pass, because the issue deals with the university's budget. He compared this resolution to a budget change the previous week that had to deal with a 2/3 vote. Paul Nesson, a council member in TSAC, argued that the proposal is a resolution, and in TSAC's constitution, only a simple majority vote is needed to pass a resolution. TSAC's next meeting will be held today and should include more talks over the issue. We'll provide more information next week on this developing story. The Colorado tax on nicotine and tobacco has collected millions of dollars in revenue, and voters had the choice of what to do with it. Voters in 2020 decided via a ballot measure to increase taxes on nicotine and tobacco products. Since then, that money has been used to fund preschool programs, and a collective $24 million has been generated. Legislatures this year are trying to pass a new bill through Proposition 2 that would allow the state to use this money and any future money gained from these taxes to expand the preschool program. If voters reject the proposition, the revenue will go back to tobacco and nicotine wholesalers, and future tax rates will be decreased. Supporters of this proposition opposition are saying that the taxes should continue to help preschoolers' education and discourage smoking. However, critics of this proposition are saying that any revenue collected from taxes should go back to the individual or business. Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House of Representatives since January, was voted out of office last week in a historic motion. Now the Republican caucus has engaged in a search for a new Speaker, and on Wednesday they nominated Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Noah Block has more on the story.
Kevin McCarthy was asked to vacate by a margin of only 6 votes, the first time such a move had been successful in the history of the office of House Speaker. The proposal was brought by a member of his own party, controversial Florida Representative Matt Gaetz. This is an ongoing story with many implications for national American politics, so I decided to have an expert and familiar face break it down for us.
These were big names in the late 2000s. We had Paul Ryan, we had McCarthy, right, Eric Cantor, all were going to be the new young guns, as they called themselves. And they ended up just not pleasing what is now essentially kind of the populist Trump faction, who really saw too much compromise in the workings of Congress and within the Republican leadership, and really tried to push it the other direction. It is important too because it really allows for one member of Congress to raise that issue, and then there needs to be a vote. And if they're successful in getting the majority, like they were this time, they can remove that speaker.
This comes at a particularly inopportune time for Republicans who are looking at the beginnings of a heavily contested presidential primary. While some factions within the party, apparently led by Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, stand firmly in support of former President Trump, Doug Burgum, Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Mike Pence have all received endorsements from current representatives.
The goal, of course, of this motion to vacate, to some extent, was to try to appease or try to force a new speaker to appease the Trump faction. It's not clear that he's going to be able to do that until we get a clear signal what that faction, Jim Jordan might want. It's not clear that he's going to be able to deal with that in any meaningful way. McCarthy had to do a tricky balancing act between the Trump faction and the larger majority of the Republican Party. He clearly didn't pull that off. I'm not clear what the road to allowing for more unified policy proposals, at least in terms of support among the Republicans, is going to be. So any speaker going forward, particularly if this motion to vacate stays in place, are always going to be continuously worried about what exactly happens next, and what if I disturb or bother one member of my party.
Although Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise was nominated on Wednesday by the GOP and was presumed to be the frontrunner, Thursday night saw him drop out of the race, lacking the proper support from his Republican colleagues. The question remains, who will step up to replace McCarthy and lead a divided Congress and an even more divided party?
That's everything for politics this week. Thank you for tuning in, and stay right there because after the break, we have Jackie with a rundown on sports.
Biker gyms, brother.
Stand on the edge of the train station platform. Drive around the boom, gets at a level crossing. Run across the tracks between the platforms. They may not rhyme, but they're quite possibly the dumbest ways to die.
There's a million dumb ways to die. Don't let it be around buses and trains. Be safe around buses and trains. A message from RTD.
So many dumb ways to die.
Hey guys, it's me, Jackie Bautista, and I'm here with all your sports news. The Soccer Freak League has seen 15 years since its inauguration. It is a tournament that takes place every Sunday on our 4 different soccer fields in the Denver metropolitan area, and that is mostly organized by Hispanic people. If you want to find out how you can be part of this tournament, our reporter Fabrizio Escalona has the scoop.
Hello everyone, here in the wonderful Central Park neighborhood. Behind me is one of the four outdoor soccer fields of the Soccer Field League. It's a competitive competition that offers a wide of categories such as men's, young, veterans, women's, and co-ed.
I think this league is all the culture is Mexican. A lot of people is Latinos, Colombianos, Hondureños, Mexican, Brasileños, Colombianos. You good teams, if you have good players or are you good players, coming and looking at good teams is a more opportunity for more competitive teams. I think we have a more competitive in this year because we have a lot of teams, players, good players. The one level is I think is university or college. A proposal is expanded this league with a lot of people Hispanic.
This past Friday, MSU Denver's women's volleyball team played against New Mexico Highlands. It took place here on campus in the recreation building. It's October and just in time for spooky season. MSU Denver had 40 kills this past volleyball game and 37 digs. In the first set, the Roadrunners scored 25 points and the NMHU Cowgirls scored 9. Off to a great first set for MSU. In the next, we scored 25 points once again, and New Mexico Highlands only 15 points. And in the final set, the Roadrunners were consistent as ever, taking 25 points again to NMHU's 11. MSU Denver took the win, 3-9. If you missed this game, their next home game is October 26th at 6 p.m. against Regis, followed by Saturday, October 27th at 4 p.m. Once again, putting the L in Mile High City, the Denver Broncos fell to Zach Wilson Jets 31-21. Coming off their first win of the season after erasing a 21-point deficit and defeating the Chicago Bears, the Broncos hope to continue their winning streak against the Jets, with the offensive committing 3 turnovers, only converting on 1 of 3 first-half red zones chances, and accumulating a whooping -18 yards in the second half. The offense struggled throughout the match. On the opposite side of the ball, defense allowed 234 rushing yards, 150 coming in the second half, a disappointing performance including turnovers, errors, and just unfortunate timing. Victory was a long shot, and the Broncos fell short at home. Once again, a fitting introduction for the Broncos' 19-8 loss to the Chiefs on Thursday night, prime time in front of Taylor Swift. Ouch. Thanks so much for joining me here on Sports. That's all we have for this week. I'm Jackie Bautista, and I'll send it to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jackie, for that great sports news. Wow. That was a really busy week.
Yeah.
The sport news, midterms, what do you think, Liz?
Yeah, it's always nice to come back to sports after like a stressful politics segment.
Unless you are Broncos fans.
Well, that's our show. Make sure to check us out on our YouTube and mymettv.com for more MSU Denver news.
Have a nice weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.